Games 4 and 5.
I'm sorry, you just said the Bronze League match, and that was hilarious.
Oh, shit. The bronze... just the bronze match. Wow. Guys, Bronze League superstar Koss has managed to win it for Ukraine.
Well, to be fair, I gotta say, Landed Vikings that are stepping against the Colossus is very much hashtag bronze logic, so...
I mean, Koss should feel very embarrassed about his play.
I don't know what to say after that. That was really strange. But congratulations to the Ukraine. Koss makes it. And then we only have one more series to go. It's the day 9. We have the best of 7 grand finals. Russia versus Norway.
Man, that is going to be a stupendous match.
Oh yeah. It's going to be brilliant. Looking forward to it. They will have a best of 7 format. So we're going to see ace players come out. We'll see one player twice at least. It's going to be very cool. And it's a bit of a... I wouldn't say a mismatch, but it's definitely kind of it's a David and Goliath story, I guess. Russia just powering through. Norway upsets again and again. And then comes in.
You know, I don't know if it's a David versus Goliath story. I almost want to call it like a David versus Steven story. Because, I mean, it was Goliath versus Goliath in the 3rd, 4th place match.
Yes.
And it was closed out by Bronze Leaguer Koss, but... But in the upper bracket, Russia, most people in the forums were saying that should be a Ukrainian win because the Damaga Koss Bly combo looked so good, and you know the Titan Happy Slivko combo had some travails trying to get all the way to the finals today, and Norway I think is definitely the big upset.
Alright, we've got 13 and a half minutes left before the beginning of this series. We're going to take a break, gather our thoughts, and then we'll be going into the final series of Nation Wars. Grand Finals, Russia versus Norway. We'll be right back. Some really cool sounds there from the soundtrack of Electronic Superjoy, composed by Envy. Before that, you heard Zircon with System. Zircon, one of my favorite electronic artists. And I'm going to play you a little bit more from Electronic Superjoy, because it's that damn good. This track goes by the name of This Sound.
We will not be held responsible for any hearing impairments or damage caused to you from excessive exposure to this sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're starting a little bit earlier here, as you can see. My apologies for that, but the guys really wanted to get things going here. I don't blame them. This is going to be a really exciting series. Start here on Polar Night. Between this man right here, from Team TRLDM Trolldom, also known as Team Liquid. In the red trunks playing Zerg for Norway, it is Liquid Snoot versus his opponent to the north position. In the blue trunks, playing Terran. A monster from Russia. It's Empire Happy.
You know, I gotta be honest, I think that the overwhelming advantage is going directly to Snoot in this one. Snoot looked exceptional versus Hero Marine on this map, and we saw Happy look a little bit shaky to Bly on this map.
Yeah, I think so. This seems to be a map that Snoot is very comfortable in. Happy has looked monstrous, don't get me wrong. You know, he's incredibly scary. But this is a good map for Snoot, and Snoot's showing good form, which is nice, because he has shown so much self-doubt over the last couple of months, putting out a public statement saying if he doesn't get better, he will retire. That kind of extremism. This is especially the case after his rather crushing loss at Red Bull Battlegrounds New York, where that really took the wind out of his sails.
Yeah, but, at the same time, I think that this is like a habitual pattern that we see among many, many, many top players. To actually be that good, you have to have a self-critical, um, actually, I'd call it a very specific self-critical voice. You can't simply say, I suck. You have to say, wow, that opening I did sucked. It
Yeah.
had a weakness in A, B, and C. And to be able to pinpoint those very weaknesses is how you can highlight what to improve and how Snoot is able to get so good. But sometimes it's very hard to reel in that self-critical voice, and you wind up at a point where you only find flaws in your
Yeah.
play. And
Yeah.
Snoot needs to give himself more credit. He is just a divine Zerg to watch play. He's so consistent. He does things that look unusual, but when you watch him play, you just sense the strength and the repetition behind them. There's no sloppy missing of injects and randomness to the play. It's just precision.
I absolutely agree. And while we're going through the first couple of minutes of this match, I can announce the other two winners of copies of Bioshock Infinite. We decided to do a little contest spontaneously early on in the show, where we asked you to redefine what TRLDM actually meant. We know it means, of course, trolldom, but we asked for some backronyms, I think is the term that is used on TV tropes. Don't go there. It will suck away hours of your life. Regardless, I have two more winners. The first winner, The Real Lesson, Do Marines. That's from Second Sin. I like that one. That's pretty good. So he wins a copy. And then the last one, which I think is absolutely the best here. It was a little poem. He calls it TRLDM, a short poem. 3 roaches lowered, a doomed marine.
Oh,
That's good. He put some effort into that.
I like that. I like people who care about the quality of their words.
Indeed. So there you go. 5 winners for copies of Bioshock Infinite. Solid Nua, Evaya, Commander, Second Sin, and Kogazaz, please. That... I don't. I'm not. It's... You know, when Twitch didn't used to take like 2 hours to send this list through, I used to read off my new subscribers at the end of a show. And I was pretty convinced that the subscribers were making deliberately difficult to pronounce nonsensical names just to screw with me.
Snarch Belch. Spinstinster Bilgenarge.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, that was the name of my mother. It's like, what? It's Norwegian for beautiful flower.
Stricken. Oh yeah, man, I love the... I was watching poems spoken in Xhosa, or however you pronounce that language. It was like absolutely amazing.
That's not the click talk, is it?
It is, yeah.
It is?
Where you have like the...
Yeah.
You have those like 3 different click noises.
Alright, well, we have a game on our hands right now, because Cloak Banshee is on the way, Hellions are out on the way here for Happy as well. A bare minimum defense of Queens alone for Snoot. Let's see if he can execute that a little better than Demaga earlier.
I mean, this is looking pretty by the book at this point in time.
Yeah.
For these two players at the very least. I mean, the only thing you could perhaps be like, that's interesting from Snoot is the fact that he has just 2 geysers instead of 3. That implies a Baneling nest and a 4th hatch before layer to me. But we see, out of Happy, a very aggressive opening. He went for the Cloak Banshee, double Hellion, immediately.
That he did, and he's pressuring this front here. He's actually going to go all the way in. Of course, he's going to lose all his Hellions, but how much damage can he actually do in the process? He gets a few drones. Can he get a few more? He looks to try and make that happen. Snoot conveniently lines them up, but moves them around. 5 workers killed in total for 4 Hellions, and kind of losing, I suppose, a decent amount of your map control. What do you think to that trade?
I am not a fan of it at all. This is going to immediately make Snoot feel delighted to throw down these Spore Crawlers, because he only needs a limited ground army to deal with the Hellions.
Yeah.
I mean, the Queens would almost suffice, and now the Banshees will have absolutely no ability to do anything at all, because look at this, perfect timing in the main base. Oh my god, Happy's gonna lose his Banshee. What is he doing? What is he doing? What is he doing?
He gets out of there, but that was sloppy from Happy. Very, very surprising to see that, because Happy has been really strong throughout this, but this is not going well for him. He's making some questionable decisions.
Yeah, so now, I mean, Snoot can accelerate the time that he was going to get his lair. Ordinarily, you'd want to be building some more Zerglings to deal with the Hellions, and you'd throw out the, the sort of compensatory 4th hatch as a result, but, I mean, This was a mess. The reason that Hellion Banshee works very well is it's a difficult to deal with combination, not necessarily that they can split apart. They can, but that's not their strength. It's the combo of the time. And here we see Happy trying to make some magic work with these Banshees, but we're seeing exactly the problem right now. They don't have anything to cover them. They don't function well alone.
No.
It's pretty gross.
Yeah, nothing really happens. He's killed the queen. He's going to get some tumors here, but that's not really hugely important. He's not going to get all the tumors either because the queens are pushing him back. He does get the outlying ones near the Zelnaga Tower, which is good. But there are 4 queens following that are instantly going to replace them, so it doesn't matter. You know, there are still 6 queens out for Snoot, so he doesn't really care about all of that. And what did Cloak get him in the long run? Not a damn thing.
Yeah, right now Snoot preparing... Oh, a tiny counterattack, but the patience... of that Nordic man.
This is gonna be delicious.
Waiting for the 1-1 to be done.
And there's nothing in there at all. He crashes in, and he's gonna try and do as much damage as he can to this mineral line. And there's so many Banelings, it's gonna overrun it completely. Couple more Banelings come out. A great detonation once again. The Banshees are eventually able to hold that back. But Snoot killed 16 workers in the process. That was fantastic.
I mean, Snoot is just trucking Happy in this match. The Banshees floating directly into the middle of nowhere, getting shot down by a Spore Crawler. We get Queen count all the way up to 9. We have the harass. I mean, everything has gone wrong for Happy, and it's going to continue to go wrong. Even this attack that feels so clever to be arriving before the Spire's done is just going to get stomped on by this Queen count.
You think so, yeah. You know, there's enough queens with Transfuse Micro that this will not work. It will force a cancel on the 4th base, maybe. Yeah, there we go. I think Snoot was kind of at a bit of an indecisive point, saying, can I save this? Or do I let's just cancel and then maybe try and get a Baneling hit before the pickup happens? Happy on point with that, only loses a few Marines here and there.
Macro Hatch is missing, now gets thrown down by Snoot. Probably could have gotten thrown down at 11 minutes, but getting distracted by Happy's continued aggression. But Snoot has so many queens, even 2 hanging out in the main base that can join into this fray. And here come the mines that have since 4 been relatively not good.
And they continue to be. Snoot baits the mines directly in there to hit a couple of those Hellions. Which is a nice little move there. However, an Overseer does pop out directly below some Marines. Can be a little bit risky. Once again, the mines don't really do what they want to do. Good target fire on these Banshees on the Banelings, though.
Drop in the main base, but Snoot does have some queens there to help assist with it, but some damage is occurring.
That is true. It's a really savvy move, by the way, for Snoot not to put his lair in the main. It seems like he realizes, oh yeah, the back of the main's really exposed to drops. It's very easy to get around there.
So now we have a Zerg player out-upgrading a Terran player. We have the creep spread visibly in range of Happy's 3rd base and continuing to extend forward. I mean, this is what makes Snoot such a good player.
Happy is continuing to pressure as best he can. Queen attempting to... Oh, great target fire on the Queen, absolutely. And a transfuse just before it dies. However, that's a decent number of Marines, so some damage will certainly be done to this mineral line. Admittedly, it's almost mined out anyway, so not that important. An attempted push by Happy, doing the little old 1-2 where he'll go in, just distract the army, and then push back some creep tumors here and there. But there's still a lot of Lings following that up, and there's really no mine back up here, and a sudden flood of Lings comes in, and yeah, the Terran decides, you know what, this was a terrible idea, and the mines don't hit the Banelings. Happy's mine luck continues to be awful, and the Banelings crash into the mineral line.
I mean, the expansion is getting hit by queens
that
have creep to be able to retreat. The Queen Overseer combo is probably going to be able to take out the mines. I mean, what is going on? Snoot channeling the power of Demaga.
Yeah, the real power of Demaga. I think we know why Demaga lost. He got his power stolen by Snoot, clearly. But the Queens are now getting massacred, which is a little bit unfortunate. They overstayed their welcome somewhat, and he's actually now down to 2 Queens and 4 bases. So maybe Snoot overcommitted a smidge to that.
At the same time, though, Happy has to wait for the creep to recede before he is allowed to land that expansion. So
that is quite comical.
The damage is just like almost comical. More drops coming in from Happy.
Is going to set up and try to go around. There's a good Overlord in place just to spot this coming in. Boost is actually going to run out before he hits that, so that's a bit of a problem. A push forward again onto the creep to push back some of those tumors, and it's a lot of tumors he needs to kill because back then he was putting down 11 at a time. Now not so much. His queen count is very, very weak. The drop comes in. The queen is trying to focus down the medevac. He will be able to do just that, and the cleanup should come in here. There's a few more lings. So that should certainly do the job. Although the lings are coming in bits and bobs, which is not really going to help too much. But he gets the cleanup. Again, it's at the back of the main that's almost mined out. What's it going to do? You know, it'll kill a queen, maybe. That's about it.
So now Happy, I mean, I think the supply counts are oddly close.
Yeah.
I would say. I mean, by virtually any measure, Snoot is way ahead.
I certainly
Especially
think
given
so.
creep spread and you know his upgrades are already in fine condition. There's a drop from Happy that got picked off. I mean, Snoot still needs to play carefully because, as we've seen, a single good battle for Happy can turn it around. But I mean, these mine placements from Happy are not working very well.
No, that one was a little better, but even then, Happy just is legendary in his bad luck right now with his mines. He never gets the connections he needs. Great splitting, though, from Happy. 3-3 about to be finished by the Terran here.
Yeah, I mean, this is the window for Happy with this 3-3 being done. And Happy does have somewhat of a desperate timing because even though Happy's back to 3 bases, he's been mining heavily off his first 2, so they're unusually dry at this phase.
The mines go off yet again and do little more than kill some Marines. The Mutalisk count comes in after that. I mean, honestly, Snoot's been extremely diligent with engaging those mines. Great Baneling connection on the ramp up to the natural there. The Mutalisk count is at 23. It just swarms over the 3rd base and destroys the economy here. More Banelings coming. He doesn't even care about efficiency at this point. 90 supply for Happy. 70 supply for Happy. Oh, dear.
I mean, Snoot just made this look so straightforward. GG. Shut down the harass, even the drops that got in, did some damage and got cleaned up. Everything seemed very in control for Snoot's gameplay.
I'd say so. Snoot played a phenomenal game there. Should be very proud of that. Happy was an extremely strong player for the Russian team. We may see him again, bear that in mind. We're in a best of 7, which means the ace match can be anybody. Now, I would love to hear what the guys over at Meltdown on the French cast have to say, so we're gonna head on over to them.
Call avec Tibi et la plot sur Skype avant de reprendre la prochaine game. Et ouais, comme tu l'as dit là, Snoot est chaud et je vois plus du trop dans la team russe qui pourrait le refroidir. Parce que là on a Slivko et Titan. Alors Titan a all kill une team, je crois, la première team qu'ils ont rencontrée.
C'était la toute première.
C'était l'Espagne, je crois. Je crois qu'ils ont.
C'était probablement l'Espagne, ouais.
Ils ont.
L'Espagne ou la Suède.
Ils ont envoyé Cloquette sur notre ami Vortex, surtout Titan, ouais.
Ouais, c'est l'Espagne.
Mais est-ce que ça fera le café contre Snoot et Slivko? Que donne Slivko en ZVZ? Là, Snoot qui pourrait très bien se faire un all kill à un moment donné.
Pas sûr que Slivko soit très très fort en Zerg versus Zerg. Il avait montré de belles choses en Zerg versus Protoss, de belles macro games.
On est ouais, non, Slivko, très très bon client. On verra si c'est lui qui va être aligné juste après. Sean and Totalbiscuit, how are you doing?
Ah, salut! Je m'appelle Totalbiscuit. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was so awesome. Yes, I do jour 9 as well.
Totalbiscuit et jour 9, welcome back again on this journalistic Skype call.
Yes.
Hope you enjoyed the matches today. Did you have fun?
Oh man, I will say, every single match has been just spectacularly weird. I mean, well, I mean, maybe weird's the wrong one, but definitely incredibly different. We've had like